the title of my piece is Itanglish. It kind of looks like an H on the board, sorry about that. There are two things you need to know about me. One, I am a writer, and two, I am Italian. And the first being a writer, I love it. I love it so much, but it's so weird to be a writer. In my family, I am the only writer. I am surrounded by doctors, radiologists, biologists, pretty much anything that ends in ology. That's my family. So in kindergarten and all through grade school, people ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd say, well, I don't really know, because I wouldn't feel comfortable telling them I just want to write stories. And then you have my brother who's like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a spaceman, I want to be a doctor. So he was kind of like all the hope of the future Rossler generation was riding on him. So when I was 15 years old, my parents sent me to go spend some time with my grandparents. And I love my grandparents, but sometimes they don't know how to handle entertaining their grandchildren. My grandpa would be like, do you want to go fishing? It'd be raining outside. My grandma's like, do you want to watch TV? And all there is to watch is like 3 shows, because they only have like 3 cable channels. So I decided to go find a coloring book. So I asked her, I said, do you have anything I could color with, draw or whatnot? She said, well, go check the cabinet upstairs. So I go up there and there's all these bookshelves, and I find some really old yellow papered, I don't even know if it was Disney Princess at one point, coloring book. I pull it out and I accidentally knock over another book, a really big, thick, encyclopedia looking thing. So I go to pick that book up, put it back on the shelf, and another book falls to the floor, but this time out of that book. And this thing looks like it's been through all kinds of hell. It's dog-eared, it's ripped, it's torn, it's yellowed, which is actually my favorite kind of looking paper. So I was all excited, I was like, oh my god, a new journal. So I open it up, and I'm kind of disappointed because the whole thing is just all written in. And I was like, well, that's kind of a bummer. What do I do now? So I was like, all right, I'll read it. So I go to look at the first couple pages, and the writing it's too blurry, it's too distorted. So I start flipping through. And I'm looking, and it gets a little more legible, but I realize I can't read it because it's written in Italian. The only thing I can pick out are the dates at the top of the pages. And the thing that made me stop and realize what I was holding was one of them was dated, I think it was July 1907. So I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So I go running downstairs, I'm like, Grandma, 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 what is this, what is this, what is this? And she looks at it, she has no idea. And so then I bring it to my grandpa, and I'm like, Grandpa, what is this, what is this, what is this? So he looks through, takes his time, and he gets to the back of the book, and at the very, very back, there's like this itty-bitty stamp-looking signature thing. And he closes it after he reads it real sharp, and he says, this is a journal of my grandfather. And so I was just blown away, like you're holding a piece of history in your hand. So none of us could read it because we all don't speak Italian. So when my mom came to pick me up, we showed her, and my mom knows enough to get by. So we start reading it, and we gathered that he was born in Naples, and he was left on the doorstep of an orphanage run by nuns, and they christened him Angelo, Angel, Gabriele, which is how I got my name, Gabrielle. And when he was 14 years old, he snuck onto a ship coming to America, and he had no relatives or anything. One, because he was an orphan. 2, he couldn't speak a lick of English. So he ended up running into this gang of boys that were heading to America too. They were all sneaking on the ship. And the only thing they had to eat for the whole trip there was bananas. And he writes in the journal that he hated bananas. And not because he didn't like the taste. He did not know how to eat bananas. He thought you're supposed to eat the whole thing. So he wrote in Italian how they were like the yellow things from hell. And that God put them there to punish people sneaking away to America and all this stuff. And, when he finally Taylor did get to America. He left that gang of guys, and he ran into a legit gang in New York. And they thought, oh, ho, ho, kid off the boat, let's mess with him. So they told him, as best they could, about his English, the way you got stuff in America was you go door to door, ring the bell, they all ran and hid in the bushes, and when the lady opens the door, he goes, lady, lady, I did it, I did it. And he writes in the journal, I don't understand why the people beat me. And so we kept reading, and the further we got in the journal, the more English there was, so I was glad about that. But it was really cool, because now, one, I got to see part of my family history, and two, I finally know where my writing genes come from.